company. And recording in progress. We're a financial wellness company, and we offer coaching, training, webinars just like this, and seminars for individuals and corporates in Asia, Canada, the US, UK. So please, after the presentation today, check out the website, madsuccess.com, and learn more about our company and offering. Or go to our YouTube channel at mad.success, where we have many videos for individuals like you to learn about mindset, investing, and many other helpful topics. So that's my plug for today. And if you would subscribe to the Mad Success channel, that'd be brilliant. All right, let's jump into the agenda. Today's agenda, we're going to talk at length about the mind-money connection. Yeah, we're going to explore how your personal psychology and life experiences are shaping your financial decisions. You'll also learn about your own money mindset and how scarcity thinking may impact how you invest. And we're going to look at fear, and we'll touch on fear and its impact in your financial well-being. We'll also look at what I call forward-thinking strategies and how to implement them with regards to investing and your financial life. And also self-understanding and self-reflection techniques that you can use, like meditation and things, to shift your mindset for successful investing. And finally, I will challenge you with a call to action, to take some action in your life, because we can't progress if we don't take action. Sound good? Let me see some hearts and thumbs up so I know you're logged into Menti and ready to participate. I think I'll put the access code up one more time here. So if you've just joined us, there's the access code 2385-6993, 2385-6993. Excellent. Well, let's keep going, okay? So today you will learn the connection between your mindset and successful investing. That's the whole topic, helping you shift from inherent biases to more empowered choices, and ultimately charting a course towards less financial stress in your life and more financial joy and prosperity in your life. And if you've just joined and have not logged on yet, I'm going to repeat it one more time. Please log into Menti. No download is required, and we can have everybody joining. All right.
Sorry, Lachlan, to interrupt. I think the slide is a bit cut off on the left-hand side. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thanks.
Sorry about that. I think that's my screen here. So I've just
it's okay now.
Slid it over. All good? Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure if it was cut off or not. So a new mindset. A new mindset means new results. And I believe you're here because you want new results. So are you ready to shift your mindset? If so, let's have a quick look at Mr. Leo DiCaprio. I hope you'll recognize Leo from his iconic role in Wolf of Wall Street. Many of you regularly feel super confident at work. I know that, in line with the image of the bold Leo on the left. But maybe you struggle with your investments and possibly your money generally, like Leo freaking out on the right. So this meme plays on the contrast between our professional confidence and sometimes we have some personal uncertainty, which is very common dynamic. So if you feel that way, you're not alone. What's unfair is because you're a working adult, people expect that you understand money by the time you're at this stage of your life. But in my work and experience, after a 30-year career in finance, that is most often not the case. Even within the banks, lots of examples of people that were in their 40s and 50s and hadn't started saving, hadn't started investing. So if you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s and you're struggling with saving and investing, know that you're not alone and you're in the right place. So we'll teach you some really interesting tips and tricks today. So let's take a quick survey now. I just want to get you guys going with Menti, and we'll look at what's called the DiCaprio scale. And again, this is my Menti account. I don't see your names. It's completely anonymous. So based on the DiCaprio scale, how would you rate your personal investment management skills? 1 is the wolf. I'm the Wolf of Wall Street, stocks, bonds, real estate. I've got it all figured out. 2, the Titanic captain. I'm steering my ship, but sometimes I feel like I may have hit an iceberg. 3, Inception. I think I know what I'm doing, or is it all just a dream? Revenant. I'm out in the wild here, just trying to survive the bear market. And then Growing Pains, young Leo, awkward DiCaprio back in the day. That's me with my investing, right? Which one are you? Let's have a look here. This is really fun. Good to see. Okay, we've got quite a few remnant. Feel like you're surviving the bear market. I love it. Titanic people. Yeah, sometimes it feels like you've hit an iceberg. Brilliant. Inception. Is it all just a dream? Well done, you guys. Fantastic. I love it. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle. There's no one that's really, or there's a few of you that kind of say, yeah, I've got it, I'm the wolf, and others that are saying, you know what, I'm here trying to figure it out. And the rest of you kind of seem to be in the middle, but hitting an iceberg seems to be the norm. Good, well, let's keep moving on. Thank you for your participation and all the hearts. Okay, so how would you like to know the financial world's best kept secret? Let's see those thumbs and hearts if you're interested. The best kept secret in the world of finance, the mind-money connection, of course. In many professional settings, possibly like in your company, the focus is heavily placed on numbers, strategies, and tangible data. While these are undeniably crucial for business, the psychological aspects that influence decision-making and certainly financial decisions are often overlooked or underplayed. So let's break that down. There are 5 components to the mind-money connection: the importance of psychology, cognitive bias, mental health and finances can be sad, and I'm going to go into all of these, the emotional cycle of investing, personal beliefs shape a financial reality, and so let's explore each of these in order. Yeah, let's jump into it. The first one, the importance of psychology. Despite being working professionals, I suspect many of you have not been taught foundational psychology, let alone the psychology behind financial behaviors. The emotional and mental triggers that drive investment and spending decisions are not typically covered in traditional education. This is fundamental to understand. How we think, feel, behave, and act towards money is psychologically driven. But no matter how well-skilled or well-trained we are, every individual has inherent biases, and corporate professionals like yourselves are no exception. A cognitive bias is our tendency as individuals to filter information, just like the message arrows in the diagram, based on personal experience and preferences. But this image is fantastic in that we could be presented with actual facts, but our beliefs are often so ingrained that they get in the way of our ability to accept other opinions, or in fact, that which is fact. Cognitive bias is a coping mechanism that enables the brain to prioritize and process large amounts of information quickly. And while this mechanism itself is super effective, its limitations are that it can cause errors in thought and our judgment. So your biases affect your investment strategies, your risk assessments, and more. So bottom line for us as investors is, you'll see the screen just changed at the top. A form of cognitive bias is known as confirmation bias. So confirmation bias means you regularly seek opinions, research, and information that confirms or even strengthens your personal bias, right? So rather than seeking out opinions and information that challenge and refute your bias, even fact, like we see in the picture, to gain a deeper and broader understanding, sometimes we actually will completely reject it because of confirmation bias. We just don't seek out information that challenges our opinions. So recognizing and understanding these biases can lead to better investment decision-making. So now we're going to have a funny little meme I'm going to pop up for you. The distracted boyfriend meme, it's called. And it's a playful template to illustrate overcoming confirmation bias. So instead of sticking to our existing beliefs, presented by the girlfriend on the right, we should be open to new and varied information, the other woman, in the realm of finance and investing, even if it challenges our current understanding and thinking. So, number 3 is mental health and finances can be sad. Did you know the #1 cause of mental health problems following the pandemic is money? financial stress can lead to a range of mental health issues. Mental health and finances can be sad, and sad, as it says on the screen, stands for stress, anxiety, and depression. Becoming aware of how money and investing is triggering you emotionally begins the path to improve your financial well-being and more successful investing. So let's now talk about the emotional cycle of investing. Number 4, decisions about money are often, not always logical. Emotions can and often do drive the actions we take. For instance, someone might make a hasty investment based on fear of missing out, or FOMO, like getting into the meme stocks, if you remember some of those last year and the year before, or selling stocks prematurely during a market downturn owing to fear of loss, and depending on our emotional state. So if you look at this chart, and I know it's difficult to read, I'll go through it with you in a second, but our emotions can handcuff our ability to think logically and lead to knee-jerk reactions and bad decisions with our money and investment choices. So the emotional cycle of investing shown here conveys very well the different emotional states that you may be subject to during the movements of the market. In case you can't read it, and my apologies that the words are quite small, it starts off and ends with optimism, right? On the far left and far right, the guy kind of doing the John Travolta dance. And as the market moves upwards on the left, it leads to excitement, thrill, and even euphoria at the peak. The guy in the green cape, I think that's a dollar bill wrapped around him. Then as the market begins to turn, anxiety starts to build, followed by denial, fear, desperation, panic, and even capitulation. That feeling of, oh, I give up, right? I can never do this. Then despondency and depression as the market stays down and stays in its lows. And if you're in the biotech industry or you've invested in it, it's down, and it's been down for a while. And then the cycle starts to turn back, leading up to hope, then relief, and then ultimately returning to the start of the cycle, which is optimism, right? So this is the emotional cycle of investing, and it's something to really think about, because sometimes we get stuck, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So number 5 is to do with personal beliefs that shape financial reality. Many of our deep-seated beliefs about money were formed in childhood before the age of 7. Can you imagine? Before the age of 7, according to this University of Cambridge study. And according to this study, our beliefs are formed in childhood by how we imitate and absorb information from our family, from our culture and personal experiences. And this drives our financial behaviors when we start dealing with money as young adults and as adults, which is incredible to think about. Someone who grew up in a household, for example, that lacked money and resources might be overly cautious and have developed what is called a scarcity mindset. And this will impact how they feel and behave towards investing and risk in their life. The scarcity mindset underpins the fear of loss, right, that many investors face, and it drives their behaviors and actions to sell prematurely, or to not invest at all, or to invest ultra conservatively and with a portfolio that lacks real diversity. Yeah. So to summarize these 5 points that we made, human psychology profoundly influences all of our financial behaviors, not just with investing. Becoming aware of our inherent beliefs and biases can revolutionize our financial and life journeys. So let's explore now where these beliefs and biases come from. And this is quite interesting, and maybe I hope it's new to you in terms of your thinking. The way you think, behave, and believe with money is a product of how you were raised and exposed to money when you were young through your family, your communities, and your culture. This is your financial mindset. It's the interplay of family beliefs and societal narratives of community and culture that have a profound impact on your financial thinking and behaviors, and what I would call your core values in your life. So these beliefs and narratives are so deeply ingrained because we learned them as little kids, like a sponge, that they influence financial decisions subconsciously, meaning we're most often not even aware of the influence they have on our lives and how we invest, right? So let's dig into that. The journey into your financial mindset is much like peeling an onion. Each layer unraveling exposes a fresh layer underneath, revealing new facets of our financial behaviors, beliefs, and underlying emotions, all of which impact how we view and approach investing and risk in our lives. The root of your financial mindset opens your understanding of your mindset for successful investing. So let's dig into the different layers. The first layer, the outer layer, represents our observable financial behaviors, like spending habits, savings, and investment decisions you've made. But what drives these behaviors? Are they spontaneous or strategic? It's critically important to know that your visible financial actions represent deeper submerged financial beliefs and influences. So the second layer is the emotional layer. Your feelings about money. How do you emotionally respond to money? With anxiety, joy, stress, caution? Perhaps it's helpful to think back to the emotional cycle of investing that I just showed you and consider if you tend to be stuck in only one or two positions on that chart, despite what the market is doing. Are you constantly anxious, depressed, worried, fearful, in denial? Or are you generally hopeful, optimistic, excited, perhaps even thrilled or euphoric about investing? But to better understand your emotions towards money and investing, consider how money triggers you. Does money trigger you daily? How do you feel when you're paying the mortgage or your rent each month? Are you aware of your money feelings? If not, now's the time to start thinking about it. Does the credit card bill stress you out? Are movements in the stock market causing anxiety? What about inflation and rising interest rates? How do these emotions influence your financial and investment decisions and your personal relationships? That's an important one, right? Because you're not living in a bubble. The next layer, going deeper, is the belief layer. It's where you identify your deep-seated beliefs about money, which includes your thoughts about wealth and financial success and what those mean to you or have maybe meant to your family or even in your culture. The source of our financial beliefs were developed by our exposure to family, culture, and society in general as children, as you now know, and by our personal experiences as we were growing up and as adults. How are your beliefs shaping your investment reality and your financial future? So the next layer is the identity layer, your financial self-image. How do you perceive yourself in the financial spectrum? Are you a spender, a saver, a debt collector, an investor, a speculator, or something else entirely? Let's jump back into Menti because I want to see how you guys view yourselves. And I want you to be honest here. I really want you to be honest. Okay, be honest with yourselves because this is completely anonymous. Let's just see how the responses are. Are you a spender? Are you a saver? A debt accumulator? Is overspending and taking on debt a way to subconsciously punish your ultra-conservative parents or partner? No one's going to tell me what to do, so you accumulate debt. Are you a long-term investor? Or perhaps you're more of a trader, speculator? Or maybe you're a blend of all of these, or possibly none of these at all, and they don't register, or you're something else, and I just haven't been able to name it. But be honest with yourself and with us. So yeah, the majority are either long-term investors or a blend of a few. Absolutely. I definitely know how to spend when I turn it on. But I also save, I invest for the long term, I invest for the medium term, and I invest for short term. And we're going to talk about that because it's very interesting. And that causes a lot of people stress, a mismatch of how they invest. And I'm going to get into that in a slide later on. Thank you for your participation. This is fantastic. Lots of you participated. And glad to see there's no debt accumulators. At least you didn't put your hand up and own to it. Okay, jumping ahead, we're going to go back to the identity layer. So thank you again for participating. So getting back to the identity layer, how you identify yourself on the financial spectrum is important. Do external validations or criticisms, such as the need to please your parents, influence your financial self-image? Does your financial self-image empower or limit your financial potential? That's a really important question to ask. And so I'm going to put that up on the screen. Whoops, I jumped. How does your financial self-image empower or limit your financial potential? Please take a photo of this slide or write that question down to consider it further, and consider discussing it with your partner, if you have one, after this session is done. Your financial potential includes your portfolio and how you invest or not invest, but how well you're diversified, what risks you're willing to take, and how you grow your wealth, and so on. So ask yourself, does your financial self-image empower you, or is it limiting your financial potential? Very interesting one. So the last layer that we're going to look at in our financial mindset is the core layer. This is the foundational layer. It represents your core values in your life, these foundational values and goals, your desires, your life vision. You connect with your core by asking, how well do your financial decisions, including your investment decisions, align with your core values in life? How do your values and desires in life influence your financial aspirations and behaviors? Are you investing in alignment with your values? For example, are you against war, but invest in military and related companies or funds? Are you against smoking, but invest in tobacco companies, and so on? So if you're against smoking, but you're investing in tobacco, your investing style and your core values aren't necessarily aligned. And that's something you really need to look at. So if you do not have much for savings or investments right now, and you're constantly spending the majority of your paycheck each month, what does that say about what you value? It could be that you value immediate gratification right now over planning your financial future. But when will that mindset change? And where is it going to get you 5, 10, 15 years from now if you haven't started investing and building a long-term investment portfolio by then? Perhaps there's a feeling that you need to keep up with your friends and be seen to be spending out at dinners or at drinks, clothing, trips, and so on. Again, how is that mindset helping your financial future? And what is the impact on your financial stress each month as you look at your credit card bills rather than your investment statements? That's a big one. Are you looking more at credit card bills and debt statements than investment statements, right? How you behave financially reflects what you currently value and goes to the heart of your financial mindset, how you think, act, feel, and behave and believe about money and investing. Perhaps you've not thought about this consciously before. So here's another question for you to consider. Thinking about your financial actions, which includes how you invest and your core values, how would a deeper alignment between your financial actions and your core values enhance your financial joy and well-being, perhaps reducing your financial stress? What could this mean for you to align your actions with your values? How about less financial stress, having a clear financial plan, which includes an investment plan that moves you towards your life goals? Could such an alignment mean growing self-esteem, being proud of yourself, self-love, a growing sense of empowerment, less friction at home, life direction and vision, living a life you design and proactively create rather than just kind of going along for the ride? All of this is possible. So as you explore what such an alignment could mean in your life, ask yourself this question then. What do you need to change to better align your financial actions, such as your investing, or your behaviors with your true values? This is really important core work for you to consider in your life. If you're not living the life you want, what are you doing? How are you being in your life that reflects or does not reflect your core values? And if you want to go deeper on this, I hope you do, please check at your company with your HR about counseling and coaching services available, or if they can make any recommendations for such services. I'm a financial success coach, so you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you feel that would be beneficial. You can check me out directly through my website, madsuccess.com, right? But let's just go back here to this metaphorical onion of ours. And your financial self reveals a complex, multi-dimensional layering of behaviors, as you can see in this chart: emotions, beliefs, identities, habits. Appreciate how each layer influences and is influenced by each other, creating the complex financial persona, that is at the heart of your financial mindset. When I start making mistakes on words, it usually means I need a drink of water. So excuse me. Look, it's my sincere hope that after you leave today, you'll peel back and consider each of your own layers as a strategic, mindful exercise to understand and then take action to enhance your financial well-being. So let's jump into that. And I know you haven't thought about this for too long, but let's ask a question in Menti here. So this is a word cloud. So you can put in words or phrases. What are some beliefs or behaviors or influences that impact you and how you think about and behave towards money and investing? Think about words or phrases that come to mind when you think about money and investing and how these impact your behavior and thinking. There's no right or wrong here. This could be cultural, parental, social. You might put up a word like risk or savings or worry or social pressure, work hard, cash is king, responsibility, patience, wealth, etc. Whatever you want. Remember, your answers are anonymous, so please participate. Please log into Menti. If you haven't already, the access code is at the top there. Let's see what you got. Volatile market. Yeah, for sure. Children. Very good. Control, interesting one. Financial freedom, financial independence, unpredictability, children's education, volatile market, patience, future, now versus future, relief. I love it, you guys. Passive income, great participating. I love it. I love it. I'd like to read them all, but I can't. Got to keep going. Thank you very much for participating. That's fantastic. So now that you've got some idea about these things, for some of you, the idea of challenging your long-held beliefs or those you might share with your parents or grandparents or culture may feel uncomfortable. You may even be thinking, why on earth should I change the way I think about money? I just want to be a more successful investor. Okay, I get it. Well, as I said in the beginning, a new mindset means new results. Your emotional self may want to remain in a fixed state, in a fixed mindset. And if you haven't read Carol Dweck's book on mindset, it's fantastic. But you might want to stay in that comfort, not challenging long-held beliefs, likely inherited from cultural and family influences, but to grow and develop your financial understanding and success in investing, it may be time to step out of your comfort zone. Yeah? And explore your relationship with risk and reward outside of your existing bubble, this echo chamber of your life, because this is where the magic really happens. When you want to expand, you have to expand your life. You have to expand your persona, your thinking, your beliefs. When you challenge these long-held beliefs, they may not be serving you in your best interest right now, even though that's what you know, right? And maybe that's why you're here today. So, I'm big on questions. Here's another one for you. How is the comforting validation of long-held and shared beliefs with your family and culture influencing your risk-taking and exploration of diverse investment opportunities? How the comforting validation of long-held and shared beliefs with family and culture has influenced your risk-taking and exploration of diverse investment opportunities? Look, that's a big question. And to simplify it, it basically means this. It may be time to consider and challenge how your comfortable, long-held financial beliefs gained from your family, culture, and personal experience are influencing your level of risk taking and the breadth and depth of investment opportunities that you look at today. Look, my role is not to tell you what to do, but to present ideas to help you start thinking outside of the box, outside of your comfort zone, to help you reduce financial stress, improve your financial health, and put you on that path to financial abundance. But in order for you to do that, it may mean it's time to challenge your long-held, comfortable, shared beliefs about money and investing. So, in my own life, as I was growing up, I found myself handcuffed to certain financial beliefs and practices. And I hope this resonates with you. They were deeply embedded family financial values and fears. Some were useful, but some were detrimental, limiting how I invested as a young man. But as I became more aware, I learned eventually what did and did not serve me in my life. My father was very conservative. Some of you probably have parents or grandparents that are that way here in Asia, right? In my younger years, he was only investing in bonds, only bonds. Well, that's because interest rates back in the late 1970s and 80s in Canada, where I'm from, and in the States, when I was a teenager in Canada, interest rates were way over 10%. You think 5-6% right now is bad? They were over 10%. In fact, when I was in high school, Government of Canada savings bonds, AAA debt, peaked at paying 18% for 5 and 10-year bonds. Government of Canada bonds, 18%. Can you imagine? Of course, my dad was investing in bonds. And I remember him telling me, if I ever see bonds paying close to 10% or more, put my money in them. And well, that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm investing in bonds and dividend funds and others that are paying me right now 8, 9, 10, up to 12, 13%. These things are available and they're decent. They're not high risk. This is where we're getting back to now in our market now. But he also told me many times in my youth that the stock market was pure gambling and for fools. His regular quote was, "A fool and his money are soon parted," referring to the stock market. I listened to my dad. My dad was super intelligent, very wise, but it had a real negative impact on me. His fear of the stock market impacted me well into my 30s. And that, as you can imagine, had a very negative impact on my investing and portfolio growth in my younger years, which is the most important time to start investing, to take advantage of compounding growth over the long term. But because I wasn't investing, I wasn't investing out of learned fear because of my dad. So think about that for yourselves, what your beliefs, what your values, how you're acting, how you're investing, how you're saving, and so on. And if you can relate to any of this, let's see those hearts and thumbs up, because boy, oh boy, it had a huge impact on my life. So I'd like you to now reflect on your own life, right? To consider a few key questions. Again, back to the questions. You're going to want to write these down or either take a screenshot if that's easier. And please, after this session, consider these questions. That's why you're here today, to create change in your mindset, right? So think back to when you were a child. How were you influenced or impacted by money? How you grew up? Was money scarce or abundant? Did you ever observe your parents arguing about money? Were you constantly told, we can't afford that? Who were your primary money influencers as a child? What was it about what they did or said that you can remember? Now, consider your existing financial position. What money fears, beliefs, habits, and challenges are you currently facing? Why are you here today? What was it about today's topic, the mindset of successful investing, that prompted you to be here? Was it the mindset component? Or all you saw was successful investing and you thought somehow you'd be here and hear the Holy Grail? The topic is the mindset of successful investing. So we're digging into our mindset and how a new mindset can create new results. So what money fears, beliefs, habits, and challenges are you currently facing? What is your current mindset thinking about the layers of the onion? Maybe you're struggling with debt or lack of savings and investment. Maybe you believe your partner spends too much, or he or she is so conservative it's restricting your investments and causing you stress. Maybe you spend too much, or you are being too constrictive. You know, where's that all coming from? Is overspending impacting your ability to save and invest? What values are you honoring by overspending? What pleasure does overspending give you? What pain are you avoiding by not saving? Does saving make you feel like you're having to cut your lifestyle, which is a pain, which is loss? If you're not saving enough for investment, let me ask you this. If your government declared today that personal income taxes would increase immediately as of today by 10%, would you pay it? Of course you would. You'd have to. You'd make it work with your existing income. So if you're not saving and investing enough for your future, why not pay yourself the additional 10% tax now for investing in your financial future? Step out of your comfort zone and decide today you must change your mindset about money. Whew. Now take a deep breath, or I need to. That's a lot to digest. So take some time today after the presentation. Write down some of your financial fears or beliefs that may be holding you back from having a more robust financial life. If you overspend, admit that to yourself and decide today to change. If you're an unsuccessful investor, investigate why. If you're a fearful investor, ask yourself, what is it that is causing me to be afraid? Is your fear a lack of knowledge about products or the industry, or because of your parents' conservative ways, like my father and his fear of stocks? Maybe your investing fear is related to investment timing risks. So let's take a look at an example. This is very interesting. And this is something that some of you may not have thought about. Investment timing risk. Are you stressed about investing because you've mismatched when you need your money and the type of investment the money is being held in? For example, your immediate need money, right? Like an emergency fund, should never be invested in stocks, crypto, or real estate. Why? Because stocks and crypto can be highly volatile and real estate is illiquid. In either case, if you need all of the money in your emergency fund for a true emergency, but the stock market or crypto market have crashed, the money won't be there. And that may be the cause of your financial stress. If you need the money for an emergency right now, real estate is illiquid and can't be sold to pay for right now emergencies, though you may be able to borrow against it as collateral, but that could take some time. Does this make sense? I hope so. So to reduce financial stress, match your money timing need with your investment, with your goals, with appropriate investments. Thank you for the hearts and thumbs up. I appreciate knowing that you're responding. So to reduce financial stress, match your money timing needs, right? Short-term goals should be either in cash or highly liquid deposits, like high interest savings accounts. Medium-term goals, maybe you're saving for a house or a wedding or children, should be matched with medium-term investment risks, such as some types of bonds and low volatility stocks. And of course, I'm talking also about funds and ETFs and things. ETFs are very liquid, right? But if you're in stocks and you need the money in a year and the stock market crashes, that money's not going to be available for whatever your goal was in 1 year from now. Do you get where I'm going with all this? So long-term goals, such as retirement, can be matched with long-term investments like stocks and real estate and so on. And the good folks at HSBC can certainly help you look through this, or whoever your financial advisor is, right? So shifting gears now. The last question on this page: what are you proud of about your financial situation and the investing you have done to date? You do need to honor yourself. It's not always just doom and gloom. You have done some good things, right? Do you have some clear goals that you're saving for? Have you saved for something in the past? You know, goals for investing, great. Do you have a budget that works for you and that you regularly check and review? Fantastic. And if you don't, okay, so make the change. Do you have a solid financial plan that ties to your life vision and goals and core values? Amazing. Maybe you chose to be here today to create real change, and it's the first time you've really wanted to think about it. Well, bravo, it's fantastic you're here, and welcome and thank you. Be proud of this choice and the work you're doing and the work you will do going forward to affect the positive financial change you want in your life. So just looking at the clock here, I want to keep moving because we've got about 15 minutes left. So I got to keep moving here. So it's time to take some action. It's time to shift your mindset and begin the process to move from fear and scarcity thinking and our biased beliefs to forward-thinking strategies, right? So let's just jump straight into those. I'm going to go, the very first one here, sorry, I'm just jumping around a bit, is countering the action illusion. So what does that mean? Well, the action illusion is the belief that being active or making frequent changes to your portfolio equates to being effective in managing your investments. It's a mistaken notion that constantly trading or switching strategies represents progress. The constant churn might give an illusion of control or progress, but it doesn't necessarily equate to better financial outcomes, right? So how do we counteract the action illusion? By having a clear investment strategy, right? And a plan. It's the #1 way to counter this action illusion. Regularly reviewing your portfolio is essential, but changes should be driven by strategic decisions based on a financial plan rather than the urge to always be active and react to the markets. And remember to match your cash flow timing needs with your investment as part of your financial plan. #2 is maintain a long-term perspective. Avoid making decisions based on short-term market fluctuations. Recognize the cyclical nature of markets. Remember the emotional cycle of investing chart. A long-term view can help you as an investor ride out volatility and harness the power of compound growth. 3, regular portfolio rebalancing. Ensure that your investment portfolio aligns with your risk tolerance, financial goals, and money timing needs. Over time, some assets might outperform others, leading to an asset allocation that might not match your original strategy. And our cash flow timing needs may have changed as well. So for most portfolios, that usually needs an adjustment every 6 to 12 months. It's not frequent. Your financial plan should include this long-term investment strategy that does not need to be radically adjusted every month or every quarter. That's not long-term planning. 4 is diversification. Sorry, I jumped. Diversification. Spread investments across different asset classes, sectors, and geographical regions can reduce significant losses when a particular area faces a downturn. Yeah. And #5 is continuously update your knowledge on global economic scenarios, emerging industries, new investments, instruments, new investment platforms, fees and rates that you're being charged on your investment account and transactions and so on. And if you're not doing this, why not? What is it about your current money mindset that's preventing you from learning and development regarding your investments and your life goals? The last on this chart here is embrace technology. Utilize modern investment tools, robo-advisors, and platforms to gain insights, automate portfolio management, and reinvestment of dividends and interest income for long-term compounding, and ensure timely interventions based on your research and investment plan. These core long-term strategies underline the importance of understanding the inherent resilience of markets and the need for strategies that are not just reactive, but also proactive and forward-looking. By adopting such a long-term investment perspective, such as you as an investor will be better able to navigate the complexities of the financial world and harness potential opportunities while also reducing your financial stress. Whew, trying to get through all this. But one thing I would also add is to nurture patience. Successful long-term investment and wealth creation requires you to develop and nurture patience while managing your beliefs and biases and fear. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is active acceptance of the process required to attain your goals and dreams. And that's exactly what we've been talking about here in changing your mindsets for successful investing. It's an active process required to achieve your goals and dreams. So just a few techniques that I'll pop on. There's 12, not so much a few, I guess it's a number of them. These are tips and strategies that help you to identify and challenge your beliefs and biases to shift your mindset. Self-reflective journaling. What lessons can you learn about your money habits? Are you spending too much regularly? Well, how come? What investments have worked and not worked for you in the past? Financial therapy. Consider working with a financial therapist or financial coach like me, someone who can help you unpack your emotional relationships with money and challenge long-standing beliefs. Educate yourself. Empowerment comes from knowledge put into action. Read books, attend webinars, take courses on personal finance and investing. Discuss money openly. This is something we don't do as a society. Talk about money with friends, family, and your significant other by sharing experiences. Share about this webinar. You might discover shared beliefs or gain insights into different perspectives. We didn't learn about money in school, so I believe this has had it inhibits our ability to talk about money. It's time to change that in your life. Financial role playing is a great thing to do with a coach or therapist, but it can also do with someone you trust. And then challenge and reframe limiting beliefs. When you identify a limiting belief, something that's held you back, it's a belief based on, is it based on fact or assumption? Is it cultural or from your family? Challenge your beliefs and with evidence and logical reasoning, yeah? And then the other ones are meditation and mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness can help you stay present, making it easier to catch negative thoughts about money or other areas of your life. Set clear financial goals. By outlining what you want to achieve, it becomes easier to recognize what a belief or bias or fear is hindering progress towards your goal. Seek mentorship. Connect with someone you admire financially. Their journey and insights can provide valuable lessons. Stay updated on market trends. Familiarize yourself with market behavior. Remember our chart on behavior investing, right? Avoid your financial echo chamber. This is confirmation bias. Diversify the sources from which you get financial advice and practice gratitude. Regularly remind yourself of what you have already in your life, what you're grateful for, your health, your job, your family, your friends, your financial achievements, no matter how small, right? So now it's time for a call to action, and then we'll get on to questions. And I know we're getting short on time, so I apologize for that. I challenge you to implement one change today. Don't wait. Don't wait till the weekend. Don't wait till next week. One change today. Start an investment journal or an emotional reaction log. Start to meditate. Research a new investment. Discuss it with a knowledgeable colleague or friend. Change does not happen without action. So please take action. Implement one change today to shift your mindset for successful investing. And remember, your financial peace is intertwined with your mental peace. I'm Lachlan Campbell, your host and the founder of Mad Success Financial Wellness. I want to say thank you first to HSBC and to all of you guys listening and participating. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me here today. And on that note, we're on to questions. Not a blank screen, questions. So, Magdalene, questions in the Q&A. Do we have any?
Yes, we do have a couple of them, 5 of them actually.
Okay.
So I'll start off with the first one. I'm already in my 60s. Is it too late to start investing?
Oh, goodness, no. You know, I'm 57, so I'm almost there. I'm almost in the club. Look, it's beautiful for you to ask that question and for you to admit that. Thank you. It's never too late. I fundamentally, wholeheartedly believe that. It's never too late to learn. It's never too late to start investing. You know, what are some examples? J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, she was homeless in her 50s. She didn't, make her mark in her books until she got into her late 50s and 60s. Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, was in his 60s when he got going in his life. It's never too late. Much of it really comes down to what is your mindset in your 60s. For me, I'm going to live as young as I can, as long as I can. That's my mindset. One of my missions in my diet and health and how I eat is so I can ski downhill into my 80s. So I will continue to invest. And I hope in your 60s, you start investing, you embrace it, start gently for yourself. Don't beat yourself up, but I really hope that you will. It's never too late. And look, if you live to be 75, 80, 85, 90, your older version of yourself will look back at you in your 60s and go, hey, you were a kid in your 60s. We're now in our 80s. I'm glad you started investing then. So beautiful.
Thanks so much. The other one would be, how much should you be saving each month? Do you count your retirement savings in EPF as savings?
Beautiful question. Yeah. So look, I just told my son this morning, he's 17. When he starts working, I want him to be saving 20, 30, 40%. So remember my point about if the government was to impose another 10% on your tax rate today, so in Hong Kong, what is it, 15%? If it became 25%, we would all be forced to pay it, regardless of what our income does. So how can you push yourself to create that tax in a way on yourself to start saving more, right? The more you save, the better for your long term. But remember what I said, there's saving for short term, medium term, and long term, right? You don't want to be investing in volatile stocks in money that you need over the next 12 to 18 months. You don't. So if you have a goal that's, say, 5 years, and you're investing in stocks for that, that's fine, but monitor it. As that 5-year goal starts shortening and becomes 3 years, 2 years, you want to get out of stocks and move into more safe, to protect your capital, right? You want to get into more safe investments that are capital protective, such as high interest savings accounts and so on, so that you don't lose the capital when that term hits, the 5-year term all of a sudden is now today, right? You want to have all your invested capital there. So you've got to start removing risk as the goal reaches its target completion date, right? So I hope that makes sense. And then, yes, anything that you have saved in a government scheme of some kind, whether it's Hong Kong or US or wherever, Malaysia, Singapore, and so on, all of that counts towards your investing because that's part of your overall portfolio, right? So whether it's you're investing in houses or real estate or gold or whatever, that's all part of your portfolio. So definitely include your government plan.
All right. Next is how much should a person save or invest at the age of 30, 40, 50s?
I'm laughing because I can actually see, I've popped up the cues, I can see them, but I appreciate you reading them out because it gives me time to think. So look, how much should you save or invest at the age of 30, 40, 50? This is the perennial question that financial advisors try and, confuse you with and like, oh, you need millions by the time you're 60 to retire. That is so not true. So let me define what is wealth, right? To me, there's a difference between rich and wealth. Wealth is you are living off of the passive income, the income generated from your investments, and all of that income is more than your ongoing monthly costs. So I'm talking about kind of when you want to slow down and choose whether you work or not work. I don't like the word retirement. I'm going to keep doing this stuff way into my 60s and 70s because I want to help people, right? So for me and for you, how much depends on how expensive your cost of living is, right? If you're living in a $10,000 per month mortgage or rent flat or home versus someone who's only paying $1,200 a month and they're 60, well, you're going to need a heck of a lot more money to cover $10,000 a month outflow, whether it's mortgage, rent, food, travel, whatever, versus the person that only needs 1,000 or 2,000. So it's really about lifestyle. So what are you saving and investing in your 30s and 40s and as you're still working? That's a great one. Well, that goes back to that other question. How much can you save? How much are you willing to save? If you're earning $1,000 a month, are you able to put away 10, 15, 20%? If you're just doing 5 right now, well, if the government imposed the tax, you would pay that and you would adjust your lifestyle. Well, why not adjust your lifestyle to protect your future, your financial future for yourself, your partner, your family, and whoever, right? To answer that question is really personal. You have to decide if you're 30 now, and I suspect you're younger if you're asking that. You have to decide, how do I maximize my savings today? And then that goes into the psychology of spending. Are you always having to spend to keep up, to be seen, to be successful? You want to have that, preeminent watch. You need to have a Rolex or something on your wrist. You need to be seen driving that expensive car. Well, if that's your mentality, if that's your mindset, of course it's going to eat into your ability to save and invest. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Should we just take another 2 more questions?
Sure,
Uh,
that sounds great.
well-
We're at 12:30. Thank you everyone for being here. We'll do 2 more.
Yeah, all right. So next is, I believe a major contributing factor to poor returns is attributed to financial institutional advisors.
Interesting.
Yeah. Nearly all their advice are based on their bank's products and sales
Okay.
targets and very little to do with your financial needs, short and long term. These
Hmm.
advisors are called
I
CRM
know.
agents.
Yeah.
How do we tell them off? Please
How do we
comment.
tell them off? Well, it's not a matter of telling them off. If you don't like your financial advisor, change advisors. If you don't like being with Deutsche Bank, move to HSBC. If you don't like being with, Credit Suisse, move to HSBC. I'm not plugging I don't work for HSBC. I'm just having some fun. Look, if you don't like your advisor, change, right? I worked years ago for Deutsche Private Wealth Management. I ran their fixed income business in Asia and the Middle East on the advising. I only spoke to people with 25 million or more with the bank. So I dealt with the ultra high net worth. And when I spoke to them, I wasn't trying to push Deutsche product. In fact, often when I met with these people, they'd ask me my overall opinion about the investing world, economics, and so on, and that's what I provided. Now, you have to remember, if you're at an institution that has CRMs or RMs or whatever they call themselves, they, for the most part, are commission-based. So you need to accept that. You need to accept that whatever products you choose, and it's your choice, you do not have to choose the product that they push at you. They have to meet quotas, okay? So understand that. When I go into a shoe shop or I go to a restaurant, I ask the person at the shoe shop, do you get commission for this sale? If he says yes, I say, okay, well, help me out here, and I want you to earn your commission. So ask your CRM, I need you to earn your commission. You're plugging products that I don't feel comfortable with. Don't invest in them. If you don't understand them and you don't feel comfortable with them, do not invest in them, okay? That's your responsibility. You choose how your portfolio is going to be structured. And if you don't understand, then you need to do more external learning. Take more courses. Go to my YouTube channel. I talk all about how to invest in bonds. I have a 1-hour mini course on bonds, for example. Bonds are good to invest in now, much less volatile, right? Or at least they are now that the interest rates have risen by 5-6%. Very likely to stabilize. But look, I hear you, but it's your choice if you stay with that advisor and how you manage the advisor. You have to manage the advisor.
All right, thanks. The last one, apology that we couldn't take so many of the questions, but the last one would be, how would we start an investment journal?
Oh, well, that's a beautiful question. It's really straightforward. Go buy a journal and then start or use Excel or whatever, Google Docs, whatever you prefer, and start thinking about first thing, list your portfolio. If you only have one mutual fund and you own your apartment, or you don't have any investments, or you have a full portfolio, list it out. And then start tracking your emotions and the reasons why you chose that investment, to buy it or sell it. Yeah, this is where you start learning then how emotions or beliefs start to trigger and impact what you're doing with your portfolio. But the other thing behind all of this is, why are you investing? Do you have a life vision and a life plan? If you don't, I have a great series of videos all about how to set your life goals. It's a lot of work to do. I take an entire weekend at the end of the year, every year, to set my vision. I do a 10-year vision, but then I do a 12-month. Okay, what do I need to do in 12 months to get to where I want to go? Remember, money is a tool to come along with your life. Money is not the goal. Your goal is to have an amazing life and to live your dreams. set goals, and then use money to achieve those goals. That's where we want to go. So track that in your journal, and you can just set it up very easily. Look online, investment journal, and you'll see frameworks on how to do that. I
All
think
right.
that's it. A
Lachlan,
beautiful day.
Lachlan, if you don't mind, because I saw there is like something related to the mindset. If I
Sure.
can just combine two into one.
I can stay
Uh,
until 3 p.m. It's up to you.
okay. Yeah, really the last one is like, how do we maintain mental wellness, especially when investment went wrong, and how do we deal with like the FOMO mentality?
Yeah, beautiful question. Beautiful question. So, look, mental well-being really comes down to how you honor yourself, irrespective of investments. Investments are just an external factor impacting you, your partner, your parents, your work, driving home. There's stresses everywhere. So rather than saying, how do I deal with my mental stress just related to my investment? Mental health and your mental emotional state, your mindset, your being. It's not about the doing, right? We're all busy doing, we're doing humans. When are you taking time to be for you? Every morning when I wake up, first thing I drink is a glass of water with lemon. I wait 30 minutes and then I have a beautiful glass of freshly blended. I do this all myself. I don't have a domestic helper. I don't believe in that. I do a glass of celery juice, fresh. And then half an hour after that, my breakfast is a green smoothie. In between all of that, I exercise, I meditate, I journal. And I have an hour to an hour and a half of time first thing in the morning. And I wake up early. Today I was up at 5:30. And I do that for me. That's called self-love. And I spent, last year was my year of self-love, really reconnecting with myself. And so I'm very careful about what I value. We talked about core values today. So whether, you've got to align yourself with your core values. And one of the little tricks, a little triangle that I learned, one of my mentors is a guy called Tony Robbins, who some of you I'm sure know. But I've followed Tony for years and I love his work. But one thing he talks about is your state. How do you show up? So state is a triangle of three things. It's your physiology. How are you being physically in the moment? It's what's your focus, your mental focus. What are you focusing on? And thirdly is your language. How do you talk to yourself? Your inner voice, and we didn't get into this today, and it's a whole beautiful area, but your inner voice is often judgment, negative, right? It makes you feel you're not worthy, you're not good enough. Well, if you focus on that, then that's going to be your state around investing. If your language to yourself is, I am not a good investor, then it'll bring you down. If you can change your language and say, I'm learning and growing as an investor, and I'm continuing on that path. That's a different mindset, right? That's a different way of focusing your attention. That's a growth mindset rather than one that's shriveled down and feeling bad about yourself. So you sit up, you empower yourself, you engage yourself physically, have a dance in the kitchen with some music, whatever you want to do, go for a run, go to the gym, right? And then change your focus. Change how your mind is thinking and change your language around what you're thinking. That's the best way, whether it's regarding investing and wrong investments. Okay, one thing I love is have a mind like a goldfish. A goldfish only remembers things for 10 seconds. When something goes wrong, have a mind like a goldfish, recenter, refocus, and carry on. Thank you. Beautiful question.
All right. Thank you so much, Lachlan, for spending time with us to go through the questions. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone when I say today's session was incredibly insightful. So thank you, Lachlan, for sharing your knowledge today.
My
And
pleasure.
also, just a note to everyone, once we end this webinar, you will be prompted to complete a feedback survey. So filling up this survey is very important for us to learn and improve so that we can provide you with more awesome webinar in the future. So thank you for joining today's session. Wishing you a great day ahead and stay safe always
Happy
till
Friday.
next.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Goodbye,
Thanks, Magdalene.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining.